Joe, what on earth is going on? Before we get to what Speaker McCarthy may have given away or traded for those votes, can you just tell us why it took 15 goes before he got the nominations? What were his fellow Republicans objecting to?
Big picture is this: we're watching the implosion of one of America's two major political parties. I mean that. I used to be a Republican. I was a Republican my whole life. I left a couple of years ago. This is a party that is shrinking and dying as a national party. And as things tend to die, they tend to get ugly. So what we've seen this past week is just the latest example of the Republican Party, I believe, imploding. They are fighting with each other.
And what is leading that faction? It's the Make America Great Again faction. Are they being told what to do by President Trump? We've seen photographs from inside the chamber where one of the congresswomen has got Donald Trump on the phone and she's handing the phone across to other people. Is he really pulling the strings from afar?
Well, and to answer that, I'll fight your premise. It's not a Make America Great faction within the party. The Republican Party is a Make America Great Again party. That is the party. We talk about the 20 all week who didn't support McCarthy. Let's be real. I mean, there are many, many, many more Make America Great Republican congressmen than 20. Now that we have a speaker, Marjorie Taylor Greene, there are a lot more Republicans like her now who will oppose everything. So this was kind of deceptive when people just thought this was just a small faction. This was just McCarthy. Most of that party is in lockstep with each other in the House.
What can you tell us about Matt Gaetz, the Florida congressman who stood up and nominated Donald Trump to be Speaker, even though, of course, Donald Trump is eligible to be Speaker because he's not a congressman that has been voted into the House. And also, we saw an exchange between Kevin McCarthy and Matt Gaetz right at the very end that got pretty heated. So who is Matt Gaetz and why is he wielding so much power?
He's a Matt Gaetz, Florida congressman, is a perfect embodiment of what this Republican Party is. He's an unserious, grifting joke. People like Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, these are people who would shut down our government, blow up that Capitol if it would get them on Fox News. It's all about getting attention. And that's what these extremists in the party are all about right now. They loved, I can't say this enough, my friend, Matt Gaetz and people like Matt Gaetz loved what happened this week. They loved it.
Now, let's look at what happens now. Kevin McCarthy is the Speaker. He's got a wafer-thin majority inside Congress. Even if his party was united, he still has a very small majority. But from what we're hearing, he's had to give a lot of things away in order to gain these votes. So, for example, one of the concessions he's made is a one-member election trigger. That's one member of Congress that can actually say, I don't want Kevin McCarthy as Speaker anymore. I think we need to have another ballot. And the whole charade starts again. How can he govern with that hanging over him?
Well, it's going to be really damn difficult. Yes, Kevin McCarthy gave away the store to become Speaker. I served with McCarthy. This is what McCarthy has always wanted to be. It's no surprise that he gave away anything and everything to do it. Now, this may sound funny, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who the Speaker is. Mm-hmm. I've said that all week because again, what you and I are talking about, this is now a mega party. So whoever the Speaker was going to end up to be, the mega agenda is going to dominate the next 2 years, and there's nothing a Speaker can do to stop it. They are going to investigate every Democrat. They are going to try to haul Dr. Fauci in front of Congress. I mean, it's going to be a chaotic, dysfunctional mess for 2 years. and there's really little McCarthy can do.
So do you think, in your view, Joe, that the Republican Party as we've known it doesn't really exist anymore?
Well, look at me, look at Liz Cheney, look at Adam Kinzinger. If you are a conservative and you don't want any part of this Republican Party, there's no home for you here. I believe it's on this path that it's on. It's on this mega path. And let's not forget, Donald Trump is going to thump his chest right now. Donald Trump is going to claim credit for McCarthy being speaker. A lot of people don't realize it yet, but it's still Trump's party in many ways. So yes, this is the path it's on.
So are you expecting Donald Trump to announce to run properly? I mean, we know that he's been fundraising. He had a very big setback with the midterm elections, that they certainly did not go his way. I mean, do you not believe that there is a section of the Republican Party, the GOP, the grand old party, that actually thinks like you and others like you, that would like to see the Republican Party go back to what it was?
Yes, but many of them, like me, have left.
Right.
And the other ones who think like me tend to be Republican donors and Republican bigwigs, and they don't matter right now. What matters is this: Donald Trump owns 35 to 40% of Republican voters. The Republican voters are mega. That's why we have what we have right now. And as long as that's the case, as long as this is what the average Republican voter wants, then the politicians are going to follow suit. I expect Trump to campaign now. I expect him to say McCarthy's there because of me. And I dare any other Republican to run against Trump. I really do.
Well, one who we know will probably be running against him, possibly be running against him, is Ron DeSantis. How much of a chance does he have of beating Trump?
Well, don't count on DeSantis running. Everybody thinks DeSantis is going to run, and everybody, thinks DeSantis is this thing that can beat Trump. Most Republicans around the country don't really know who DeSantis is. So if DeSantis gets in the ring with Trump, I know DeSantis. DeSantis better buckle up, because if Donald Trump is really into this, it's going to be really difficult for any other Republican to beat him. I mean that.
Finally, Joe, you mentioned it just a moment ago that it doesn't really matter who the speaker is. It's going to be the House Republicans that are going to be setting the agenda. So other than bringing Dr. Fauci into Congress to testify on I'm sure, the sort of what happened during COVID, what else can we expect in the next 2 years from the House?
You can expect investigations. This is going to be 2 years of like the mega Make America Great Again revenge tour. They're going to investigate Fauci. They're going to investigate Hunter Biden's laptop. They're going to investigate what's going on down at the border. They're going to investigate the deep state, the FBI and the Justice Department, who they always believe have been after Donald Trump. This is going to be an investigatory mess. And oh, by the way, the actual governing that needs to go on, like funding the government and all of that, utter chaos to even see if the government can keep running these next 2 years.